What is up, guys? It's ya boy Rick, ignoring my wife for the grind. Cactus here.
What are you talking about?
Just kidding, honey. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button to support the channel, and let me know what you think my next intro name should be. That comment section is out of control. Alright, today we're gonna be doing something pretty cool. We are taking the Sleeper Simulant Exotic Linear Fusion Rifle through the entirety of the largest raid in Destiny 2 history, The Last Wish, to see how it really performs in an endgame environment. Now, obviously the question is, why are we doing this? Well, it turns out the Sleeper Simulant got a lot better very recently. There was a linear fusion rifle buff at the beginning of Season of the Splicer, but it turns out there was a glitch that made the Sleeper Simulant only get like a 2% damage increase. But just this week, it got the full 15% damage increase, and so in total it's sitting at around 16.5% more damage than it was, and has a 20% increase to its reserve ammo. So is this thing finally cracked enough for the endgame? That's what we're gonna find out. Now, let's take a look at this exotic weapon. The intrinsic trait says this weapon's laser over-penetrates enemies and refracts off hard surfaces. It also has an exotic catalyst that increases the reserve ammo and speeds up the charge time. So, the first encounter we have here is against Kalli. Now, when defending the plate, you're not really going to use this weapon, you're saving ammo for the boss fight. However, when the night spawns, you can absolutely crank this guy with the sleeper. But moving on to the boss herself, Kalli, holy crap, this thing absolutely chunks her. A single headshot can do upwards of 90,000 damage, and there is some good news that if you do get a body shot, which is going to come up because Kalli is flailing her head around like a mad woman. Like, this is actually really annoying to consistently get headshots with, but I digress. Even if you do get a body shot, the body shot damage with this weapon is a little bit more than other linears, so it's not the end of the world. We had Kalli out of here in less than one full damage phase. Absolutely fantastic weapon to use in this encounter. I would highly recommend it. 9 out of 10. But moving on from there, we have the second encounter against Shiro Chi. Here, we have to do 1/6 of her health or the entire team wipes. So, can the Sleeper Simulant do it? Well, it turns out, yes, and easily. Like, in only a few shots from everyone, she is absolutely at that limit. Now, the problem, however, is that Shiro Chi, this encounter does have a lot more adds to deal with. And you'll see, like, when we're doing the plates, obviously, I'm switching to my SMG. I'm not using the sleeper at all. Now, that's not the worst thing in the world to have a weapon reserved for boss DPS. In fact, that's what usually happens. But I've tested a lot of weapons in the Last Wish raid, and it is nice to have a weapon that's good at both the damaging and the ad clearing. With the sleeper, it's definitely all about the boss DPS. However, it can be good at cranking, like for example, the yellow bar ogre that spawns a couple of times during this encounter, and so on. But still, the boss DPS is so fantastic, I've got to give this weapon here an 8 out of 10. Now, moving on from there, the next encounter is against Morgoth, and you know, we going for that one phase, baby, but to get to it, of course, you need to kill quite a few ads first, and for that part of the encounter, this same problem is admittedly true for Shuro Chi, in that it's just not that great against the ads. It can be good at killing against some of the bigger ads. The Eyes of Riven, it absolutely cranks, but they can be hard to land, you know, those precision shots on, and you're in the back of your mind constantly worried about using too much ammo that you are going to need for the boss fight. Now, speaking of the boss fight, was this able to get the one phase? Well, as you can see, it definitely was. Now, it's going to do it, but it is going to struggle more than some of the other weapons I've tested. We're definitely getting a little bit low on our reserves by the time Morgoth is killed, and it was at about 70% strength when we did kill it. Now, guys, this is actually really interesting because I basically made this entire video back when it first got buffed, before everyone was kind of realizing it was only a 2% buff. So this is actually the footage from earlier in the season when we used the sleeper against Morgoth, and you guys can see it was really close. Like, compared to now, you know, it wasn't the best, but it was certainly a comfortable one phase. Here, we all, you can see, ran out of ammo. And the only reason we actually killed Morgoth is because a couple players cheekily switched to their secessions to finish Morgoth off. So we might not have even been able to get that one phase. And that shows you kind of how big of a buff this really was, from essentially not being able to get the one phase to being able to pretty easily and smoothly get that one phase. So for the Morgoth encounter, I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. Very good, but I've definitely seen a lot better. However, we've got to move on from there to the Vault encounter, and this one I always find interesting because it's the only encounter that doesn't have a raid boss fight. So you get to see how this weapon functions, you know, in 99% of the game against normal adds and some powerful knights. So here, the same problem is kind of true with the adds, but because there's so many knights, you are using this thing quite a bit. And against the knights with the buff, if you get 2 headshots, it's not quite gonna kill them, unfortunately. However, it's gonna put them into finishable damage. So you can do 2 headshots, run up, do a finisher, and take out a knight by yourself, no problem. But even with that being said, a simple 3-shot kill isn't the worst thing in the world as well, especially when you've got some teammates helping you out. And if you are getting any sort of damage buff, for example, I got Weapons of Light here from my bubble, you can achieve the 2 headshot kill on these knights, which is really darn sweet. However, although this thing is very effective damage-wise, you could definitely make the argument that it's harder to use than some of its alternatives. Like, it'd be a lot easier to equip a sword or a shotgun to run up and kill the knights than landing precision headshots while they're running with this thing. And I think that's very true. And so overall, I'm going to give the Sleeper Simulant in this encounter, I want to say maybe 7.5 to 8. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 just because when you do land those shots, it's very good. And of course, it lets you dispatch them from much further away than knights, whereas a sword, you have to wait for them to come right up next to you. And so guys, it is time to move on from there to the big daddy of boss fights, and that is against Riven. And of course, you know, we going for that cheese, baby. How much damage can the Sleeper Simulant do in a very short period of time? This is the big DPS test. Well, it turns out, as you can see, it's definitely not bad. We did over half of Riven's health, which I've done, again, a lot of tests on a lot of weapons in this raid, and that is an oddity. You often don't get anywhere near half of Riven's health. And you can see right here, we were all doing, you know, almost 500,000 damage, definitely over 400,000 damage, except for one teammate, I don't know why, but other than that, the damage was pretty impressive for this weapon. Of course, you know, that burst DPS, because it is one of the slower shooting linears, that is what it's missing in order to get the one phase. But still, those are some pretty impressive numbers. Overall, I think I'm going to give it here like a 6.5 out of 10. It is certainly above average in terms of DPS, but hey, it didn't get the one phase, so we can't give it any higher than that. Moving on from there, the last encounter we have here is the Queenswalk encounter. So, how is the Sleeper Simulant for that? Well, it turns out it's actually pretty nice at sniping some of the further away taken, like these stupid phalanx right here, so it's pretty good for that. And also, if you do get teleported inside via Riven's heart, there are still a lot of knights that spawn here, and just like how it was great at dispatching the knights within the Vault encounter, the same thing comes up here. It's really nice to have a weapon that can, you know, 2-shot headshot, go for the finisher, you're done, you've killed a knight in absolutely no time, and with minimal ammo as well. So it's pretty good in that. So overall, both things considered, I'm going to give it in Queenswalk an 8 out of 10. And so guys, those are all the encounters, but we need to consider the entire raid. The overall rating for every single encounter, would I bring this weapon into the raid? I would give it an 8 out of 10. I really would. I think this is definitely an above average weapon. I think this is something that people should definitely consider running, especially after this buff. It absolutely cranks Shiro Chi, it cranks Kalli, it can one phase Morgoth. The only reason you'd have to switch off really is for cheesing Riven. But aside from that, it's really good everywhere else. So this is definitely a weapon that you should take out of your vault. It is much better after the buff. And so guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.